Welcome to the first ever episode of Wrestle FanCast. My name is Idan. I'm joined by Michael. We're going to go through the recent cards. We're going to start with Raw as the first program. Raw started with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Talking about Goldberg taking his first ever bump since returning to the company.
The first ever bump in like 10 years. Well, in WWE anyway.
12
years.
Yeah, something like that. Look, as far as it goes, it was a standard Paul Heyman promo.
I would buy sand from this guy.
You'd buy sand from that guy?
Yeah, he's the best. He can sell everything. He can say anything and I believe him.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't think there's much to talk about that. The first match of the night was Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooks. I skipped through this match. I barely even noticed it. The only thing that was really interesting from my point was obviously with Dana Brooks turning on Charlotte, which
was a thing.
Which was a thing. Well, this is I guess something that will come out of this because I mean the title match at WrestleMania for Raw is at the moment a triple threat. With the expectation that Nia Jax will be entered into it to make it a four-way.
Yep.
Now, I'll put it to you, will they make it a five-way and add Dana Brooks in it as well?
Are you asking will they, or do I want them to?
I am asking will they, because that's the big thing.
Will they? Good possibility. Do I want them to? No. I don't even want Nia Jax there. I don't think she...
You want it just to be a straight-up three-way?
Yeah, a three-way with the three best female wrestlers in the company, and not Nia Jax, who's still not ready for WrestleMania, or Dana Brooke, who's not ready for Saturday night's main event, even.
Harsh but fair. But look, I guess if you're editing other people, as we suspected they were...
I think Nia is like... the safest bet. I'm not sure about Dana probably also, but Nia is like almost a guarantee at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say either way, but I see them I agree with you. I see them adding in Dana Brooke just for that angle with Charlotte.
Well, she can also just cost her the match, like come and interfere and cost her the match.
I guess. And then there was the pay-break cruiserweight tag match, which sounds a bit harsh, but Tony Nese and Brian Kendrick beating Tozawa and Perkins, with Nese getting the roll-up victory. I suppose when he's paired with Kendrick, and Kendrick was always going to take out Tozawa, who they want to keep strong.
Yeah. I have my own rule about cruiserweight matches, which is, if it's not a singles match, I'm not watching.
Well, that's interesting, because then if the elimination... Was it elimination or the fatal five-way, or... I don't know what they called it. For the number one contender, you wouldn't have watched that?
Well, I would, because an elimination is like... It's a different thing, and I don't know. I think it's different.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that when Noam Dar has had the tag matches, they've been quite good.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm bored that I have enough. Not enough. I have more than enough content as is.
Yeah.
So if I can skip something, I will.
Yeah. Why?
And go for Dana Brooke matches.
Yeah. Then the next was...
I'm comparing Dana Brooke, by the way, to the cruiserweights.
It kind of sounds like you were. Kind of sounds like you were. The next segment was Owens cutting a promo on Jericho, saying he's going to beat him for the title, and that was followed very shortly afterwards by Owens and Joe taking on Jericho and Zayn, just for the fact that they want to just put these guys as much in a match as possible.
I'm really starting to believe in the theory about Triple H making a new stable
with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Well, it makes sense. The interesting thing I think about that is that do you then make Samoa Joe take the title off Lesnar, assuming he beats Goldberg at WrestleMania?
No, I think he'll take it off Finn.
You see Finn beating
Lesnar, yes.
As much as I want to believe you, we both know what they say about Vince McMahon and his love of big men. But
yep.
Yeah, no, I mean that was a decent match. Zayn and Jericho won by DQ in another sort of. It was a roar of screwy finishes.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame. And speaking about screwy finishes, the next one is the number one contenders match in possibly one of the most predictable results of all time, with Gallows and Anderson interfering in the match, and obviously that's setting up a triple threat for the titles at WrestleMania.
That was pretty obvious it's going to happen.
Yeah. And do you think... I mean, we'll talk about it more, but it just looks like Enzo and Cass are going to get their first titles at WrestleMania.
I've been debating myself about that. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I think it's one of those things that you say to yourself, "Oh, that's like the babyface good like feel good moment at WrestleMania. It's obviously going to happen," and then it doesn't. So it may be that thing, but I don't know yet. I have not decided.
Yeah. Then there was Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. Built towards the feud at WrestleMania, it was very obviously a stepping stone. I don't know what Jinder Mahal has done to piss people off in the back room so much, but he has clearly done something to be given this level of storylines. He got jobbed out to Cesaro on at Fastlane or Roadblock or whatever the main event, the pay-per-view was. Now he's getting jobbed out to... Huh?
Yeah, it was Fastlane.
Fastlane, yeah. Yes, the only interesting thing about that was obviously they've continued to build on Undertaker versus Reigns. Reigns' promo, obviously with Shawn Michaels coming out, that was a highlight. I actually have changed my opinion. I previously thought Reigns was terrible on the mic. I will now amend that to say Reigns is terrible as a face on the mic. And I say that for two reasons. One, he's terrible on the mic in general. He's not great on the mic. But he comes off, I think mainly because he is, much more naturally as an arrogant person than as a good guy. And I think when he's a good guy, he tends to go much more on what I can only hope is a script, because I hope that no one stands in the ring and thinks, you know what will be a good insult? A suffering succotash sellout suck-up. I really...
That was a Vince McMahon specific one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I really hope no one comes up with that in the ring. That is solid garbage on the microphone. Yep. But look, I thought the promo that he cut up against Michaels was actually quite good in the end of the day. He displayed aggression, he displayed dominance. If he really wanted to be the babyface of the company, he would have been more in awe of Michaels being there, because Michaels returning was always going to be like, it's the Heartbreak Kid. Of course this guy is amazing. And then obviously with Reigns getting ambushed by Strowman at the end.
I have a slightly different opinion. The thing about Reigns is he's not a heel. He is a face, and he's probably gonna stay a face. Now, because he's a face, every time he talks, and it's a combination of his mannerisms and the things they make him say, every time he talks, it seems so above everything, and he is, because he keeps winning, because that's the way he's booked. So when he says Taker, a guy who made Strowman turn tail and run, He just says, "No, that's my yard, that's my place." I don't care about the fact that Taker chokeslammed him afterwards. I know I'm talking about last Raw, but still, I don't care about that because he's still like saying I'm better, I'm great, I don't need your help, Shawn Michaels. I can beat everybody, and he can. It's the exact same thing as the Cena thing when Cena used to get like ambushed by 3 people and then just shrug it off and laugh about it. It's boring and it's bland.
But the difference is that Cena would never have cut a promo that was so disrespectful of someone like a Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah, which makes Roman be even worse than that, because if he was a heel, so yeah, disrespect legends, that's fine. Kevin Owens does it and it's fun. But you're a face and it's going to stay a face, and like I'm almost losing hope in the mere theory that he's gonna turn heel in WrestleMania, which we'll talk about later. But I don't know, as long as he's face, everything he does, like on the mic, is terrible in my opinion, both because of him and because of the script.
It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But no, look, I mean, for the most part, I actually liked it. I
liked the segment. I didn't like the Reigns part. I liked Shawn Michaels, obviously, and I liked the fact that Strowman came and destroyed him afterwards. It was fun.
I think, and I mean, the annoying thing is that we said it at WrestleMania, in the lead up to the Royal Rumble, with AJ versus Styles versus Cena, in the sense that we were also hoping for a double turn there, because, and this is my one concern with this, is that they gave Cena the impetus to become the heel that the fans have wanted him to sort of show for a while. He was not just cutting promos that were more heelish, but also he was generally acting more like a heel and more like conniving than he'd ever done before. But certainly but Reigns is just so much better suited to that arrogant character, and also the proclamation that. And here's the thing: I will say this, that I think this promo. I think you're right. If Reigns doesn't turn heel, I will say that this promo goes from being a good promo to a bad promo. If, however, Reigns does turn heel, this promo becomes better.
So yeah, this is a problem that I have right now with people reviewing Raw and Smackdown and stuff. I hear this all the time. If he becomes heel, then this was great. If this happened and this happens, I don't care what happens if he becomes heel, and it won't. But I don't care. Right now, he's a face. Right now, the company is telling you, hey, cheer that guy. Cheer that guy that doesn't give a fuck about. I'm sorry, that doesn't care about Undertaker and says like, oh, that's my yard. I don't care about you. You're supposed to cheer a guy who has no redeeming qualities other than the fact that I guess he looks good.
Yeah, I guess so. And then we have Austin Aries versus Daivari. Again, I mean, you said that you watched the cruiserweight singles matches. What did you think about this one?
Well, Austin Aries displayed what he needed to display. He came there and he showed his stuff to the main roster crowd. It wasn't a special match, but it was fun seeing Austin Aries. I didn't, when Austin Aries first came to NXT, I need to mention I didn't really know him before that. I just knew the name. When he came to NXT, I didn't care for him much. I guess they didn't book him correctly or something. He wasn't that interesting. But now that he's like back from an injury and you see his passion and you see his promos and you see his in-ring ability, I'm good with that, and I think this match did exactly what it needed to do. It displayed Austin Aries. That's it.
So I guess I agree with you. I think Austin Aries was very good. I think the only thing that I took, but like I knew, I hadn't seen too much of what he'd done beforehand in TNA. Obviously, I didn't watch him when I was in NXT because I've only started watching NXT recently. I think the only thing I took away with that was that botched move, the suplex at the end, which looked incredibly painful. But look, it was what needed to be done. Obviously, they're building up for a Neville versus Daivari match. Coming towards the end, we've got the New Day with Big Show segment about the Jetsons, straight to DVD movie. A few things to take out of this. Titus O'Neil is still getting punished by Vince McMahon.
He will forever.
For the rest of his life. Big Show Shaq is...
His biggest crime in the eyes of Vince McMahon is not only did he touch him, he touched him and was black at the same time.
Yeah. And obviously the other news is Big Show got a match against an O'Neil. Unfortunately, it was Titus and not Shaquille.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad for Big Show. I really do, because I mean I don't care much for celebrity matches. Even like with boxers, with like actual fighters, it's weird.
The thing is that this one was built correctly. This one was actually done properly.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and you see when you hear Big Show talk, like if you read what he's saying online, he doesn't have a lot, very much left before he's retiring, and he should retire, I think. I'm saying this out of respect for him, not out of spite.
Yeah. And
I think this match with a very, very high-profile person would have been a good send-off for him. But now, well, he's relegated back to the Under the Giant Memorial Battle World, which nobody cares about. Not even the company. They don't. They say they do, but like it's like with Corbin. He won, and they talked about it for a while, and then after like 2 months, they stopped.
They still talk about it.
Well, no, because they came back to it. They stopped talking about it for a big while, and then they finally said it again. I guess they remember they have this event that's supposed to do something for a wrestler.
The other thing is that Show's already won it, so it's not like he'd be going out with this tremendous sort of accomplishment. He's done it before. Who cares if he does it again?
We'll talk about it later, but I think he's winning, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Following that, there was the final match of the night and the screwy finish of the night was Nia Jax versus Bayley. And I guess this is the match that shows that Nia Jax will probably be at WrestleMania?
Yeah, it wasn't very clear, but again, I think in the upcoming weeks, Nia's gonna be inserted into the match officially.
Well, they've only got one more episode of Raw before WrestleMania, I think.
There is
two. So I guess we'll see. And then finally, I think we both agree that this is one of the best promos, the best sections of Raw that has happened in a very long time. At the start of Raw, Steph had given Foley the challenge of firing a superstar by the end of the night. Foley swerved her and chose her as the one that should be fired, which was great because it's been nice to see Foley finally stick up for himself after years of just taking verbal beating after beating from Steph, only for one of the biggest Attitude Era nostalgia trips with Triple H coming down to the ring, Foley putting Mr. Socko on and clamping the mandible claw for the first time in I don't even know how many years.
I wouldn't know either. I don't know. It's
and then Rollins coming down to the ring, showing that he is indeed fit. Now
not yet fit for a match.
But he was cleared for ring work. He was cleared for which is good.
Yeah, but I cringed so much every time Triple H hit him with
in the knee.
In the knee, yeah, it was hard to watch.
My one problem was it sort of sets them up to say, we re-injured his knee, and he's not going to be at WrestleMania, and you're just like, 2 years in a row, you could have just held it off. It would be really frustrating to say he doesn't make it to WrestleMania after that spot. I think the only way they reasonably do that spot is if they think that he's going to recover and be cleared in time.
I think they're pretty convinced right now that he's gonna come back. I really hope he comes back, and I think it will happen because when you really want something within the boundaries of reality, you can get it. Like a guy like him, if Cena can take off 3 months off his recovery time, I think Rollins can take like 2 weeks off.
Yeah. But I mean, that is the thing is though that and this is my problem with it. If Rollins would have stood tall at the end of that, it would have been 100% certain that he was going to be at WrestleMania. Because he didn't, because he ended up clutching his leg, because Triple H specifically targeted the leg, gives them the option to say he's re-injured it and made it worse.
Yeah. Anyway, I really want to mention in that segment Triple H's promo. I mean, everybody knows Triple H is awesome on the mic, but the promo he cut on Foley was so good and so real, and was
when he mentioned the kids.
When he mentioned the kids, which we all know that Noel wants to be a wrestler, it's a matter of public knowledge.
Yeah.
And the way he says,
and his son as well.
When Stephanie tells you to jump, you better jump, monkey. And the way he just gets in his face and seeing Foley kind of distressed by it, and he should be distressed.
Yeah.
Was very, very fun. My tiny bit of fantasy booking would be Foley getting fired eventually. Not right now, but eventually getting fired and being replaced with a heel Kurt Angle general manager.
Oh yeah, I don't mind that.
I think having a heel with Stephanie will make her stop breaking his balls all the time.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle is a very fine heel, so
yeah. Well, I think it also counterbalances, and we'll go on to this now, is that, and especially because it sort of opened up the show in Smackdown, it counterbalances the fact that Bryan and Shane are both both faces, sorry. So you've got sort of 3/4 of the authority figures being faces and one heel. I think if Steph is joined, either Steph needs to be joined by a heel general manager, or they need to split the face heel dynamics. Either Shane and Daniel need to split, and one of them needs to be replaced by a heel, and then you can have that sort of two warring dynamics, or you go, this is the face authority, this is the heel authority, and just make it as simple as that.
I think the latter is better. Again, I don't want to see faces with... I don't want to see Stephanie on the show anymore, but if I have to have her, I don't want her to be with a face general manager. It's too painful seeing such great people, such a great guy like Mick Foley getting... Berated and blasted every single week.
Yeah, it's a bit... Yeah. And with that, we'll move over to SmackDown quickly. We start with AJ Styles.
The better wrestler.
Yes. Well, let's just put this out of the way, because it essentially this was a segment that dragged on throughout the entire episode. We finished last week's episode with AJ Styles going into the back after he lost to Randy Orton, and was extremely pissed. That backstage segment was one of the best I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And phenomenal. He waits for Shane McMahon in the parking lot. Something I don't think we've really seen since, taking aside sort of the Baron Corbin one, but a genuine parking lot brawl is something we haven't seen since the Attitude Era. There was slight bits that we spoke about that doesn't really make sense, such as Daniel Bryan firing AJ, which is unnecessary and a bit weird.
It was weird, and as I told you privately, I think that most of the time when you fire a wrestler, you should fire a face, because people already really like AJ Styles. That's no secret. He's getting cheered all the time, even though he's a heel. And having him fired just garners more sympathy towards him. So I don't know if it was the best
I
choice.
think when you follow it up with even heel wrestlers coming out saying, "That's not on, man. That's not on." What you did is screw it. Though I don't know if the Usos were the best heel team to pick that on. Considering how many people they've jumped in the recent weeks. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying with that. I think if he would have said, "You're suspended,"
that would have been better. Yes.
Would have been better. I think it wouldn't have looked as bad. And then, obviously, it ended with Shane McMahon coming out and saying, "Well, you've got a match now," which just confirmed the booking that everyone knew was going to happen anyway.
And we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the WrestleMania talk. Aside from that, it was just not the greatest of shows. It had two women's matches in Becky versus Natalya, which was a fine match. Carmella came out at the end just to sort of announce her presence and obviously to book it for the WrestleMania. You also had Mickey versus Alexa. Again,
which had a botched ending that I don't think anybody noticed. I couldn't find anything online. But I really think it was a botch, because what happens in the end is Alexa Bliss goes for her whatchamacallit,
the
knees that go for
insult to injury.
Insult to injury, yes. So she drops the knees, and then she goes for the moonsault, which Mickey James
rolled out
of the way.
Yeah.
Now, Mickey James gets up. She's ready for the Mick kick, but Alexa doesn't get up in time, and for a second, you can watch it back. For a second, Mickey just looks at her, and Alexa just gets up, and Mickey James gives a really anemic Mick kick, I guess, and it was. The whole thing didn't look so good, and because it didn't look so good, it made Alexa look weak, because it kind of seemed like she just dropped for a kick and not a signature finisher move of Mickey James.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen it, but
I urge you to watch it again, all of you. You will see.
I'll take your word for it. Aside from that, the Miz TV promo was quite good.
As always.
Yeah. I think that the Randy Orton Bray Wyatt segment would have been viewed better. I'll put it this way: would have been viewed better if it wasn't on the same episode as that Miz TV episode. If that was just the promo on your standard episode, that would have been the promo of the night. Unfortunately, it had to follow that Miz TV promo, which
you can't follow up Miz with a promo. He's too good for that.
It wasn't. It wasn't directly afterwards, but the fact that it was on the same episode.
Yeah, that's
was,
what I meant also.
Yeah, I was just. It was just so good. It is, and this is the thing. I've been watching a lot of sort of interviews now. I watched an interview with Kevin Owens today where he spoke about like the best wrestlers are the ones that are authentic, and the promos that they're cutting on each other, talking about Nikki and John's relationship, talking about Nikki stealing her like Maurice's spot from her. It's just such good promo cutting.
And it's great TV, I think.
Yeah. And then obviously, Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt was good, but it cut a little weird. A little weird.
Well, it's Bray Wyatt. It's supposed to be weird, I guess. And it was a fine promo.
Yeah.
I think Bray Wyatt is a problem right now, which is we don't know anything about Sister Abigail. So when they're promoing, it kind of looks like they're trying to allude to like the bigger storyline, but we're still not getting enough. And every time I think I understand what's up with Bray Wyatt's situation and how it relates to Sister Abigail, the next promo changes my mind. So I really like those promos. I think they're nice. I think being creepy is okay and it's cool. And I think Bray is one of the only people right now that can essentially bring back the supernatural like Taker has.
Finn Balor can do it.
Well, Finn Balor isn't really supernatural, is he? I mean,
the Demon King is.
Well, the Demon King is like a persona. It could be like a psychological thing. The makeup, it's known it's makeup. They don't say that the makeup is like a real thing.
No, but there is an aura around the Demon King, which is significantly different to what Balor is himself. And look,
I agree, but what I mean is like when Bray Wyatt does things like summon lightning or teleport or stuff like that, I find it, I wouldn't say believable, but it's easier for me to suspend my disbelief there like as opposed to any other person I can think of.
I think if Balor teleported or conducted lightning, I think I'd be fine with that, as long as he was in the Demon Head gimmick.
Maybe.
And then the final match of the night was the Alphas versus the Usos. A standard tag team match. They really undercut it with Shane McMahon coming out at the end of the episode and saying that AJ has a match at WrestleMania.
I feel really bad for American Alpha right now. They're so very talented, and I've been rooting for them ever since they began, like they started being on NXT. And seeing them now as champions, not doing anything, like you don't see, they don't do promos, they don't have a real storyline aside from Usos, we hate them.
Could I put it to you that American Alpha would be better opponents for the club at this point in time?
Indeed, they would be, yeah, and a more believable threat.
Yeah, it would just be a better feud, I think.
Yeah,
and then you would have the New Day versus the Uso. Yeah, the tag team divisions are a little problematic because they've got a whole bunch of decent tag teams that just don't work together. In the sense that Ascension could be a decent-ish tag team. The Vaudevillains, certainly. The Fashion Police have their following. They're all decent sort of... Enzo and Cass are like a great tag team on the microphone, but in the ring they've just been buried. But they don't work well together in the sense that... So you move the club over to SmackDown or American Alpha over to Raw. But then who do you have Enzo and Cass feud with? Who do you have...
I don't know.
I mean, could they feud with the Usos? I don't know if they've got that ability.
I essentially, I think WWE as a whole needs more tag teams. and that's it. Every time we see a tag team, it's either what the hell are they doing there here, which is Ascension and Vaudevillains and stuff like that, or I've seen them 1,000 times, I don't care.
Yeah. All right, let's quickly move on to the Wrestlemania podcast, the card. We've got Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the championship. This is going to be... Here's the thing about this. This is going to be the middle of the card. It's going to be the WWE Championship in the middle of the card. Because Goldberg versus Lesnar is going on last.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think that the championship is going to go after... And they're even talking about Reigns versus The Undertaker last.
I don't think so. I don't see that. I think that the big money match is Brock versus Goldberg. It has an old legend, and it has a title, and it has Brock Lesnar, which is one of the best drawing people on WWE. There's no way for Reigns and Taker to be last. I don't think so anyway.
Okay, but I could see them being second last.
Yeah, they would be second last.
Yeah. Then you've got Owens and Jericho. Owens will take the title. It'll be an interesting match.
Owens will take the title, and Jericho will probably go away for a while to make music, I guess.
Yeah. Then you've got the mixed tag. Nikki Bella and John Cena versus Miz and Maurice.
Do you want to say it on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Cena married. He's going to propose. Apparently it's going to be his last match for a while as well, so I guess that makes sense.
Oh, he's going away too?
Yeah, he's got a movie coming up. He's going to be... They're making a sequel to the movie he made with Mark Wahlberg. Well, he only had a cameo. Daddy's Home. The one with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I heard about that one.
Yeah, he's got a He's expanding his role, which will be interesting to see. The Raw Women's Champion match, which at the moment stands at Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha Banks. I imagine that Nia Jax will be entered into this in the next 2 weeks. Hypothetically, Dana Brooks could also be added into the next 2 weeks.
Who do you think is taking that?
It's hard to look past Bayley retaining, just for the pop that they're going to get at the end.
Yeah, but Vince hates local heroes, you know that.
I know, Vince. Well, she's not local to that.
Oh, no, she would be local next year in Orlando.
Yeah. But it's not... Yeah. No, this year's Orlando. Next year's is New Orleans. She's San Diego. She's Californian. It's the week after where she's back home.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think Sasha is getting the title.
Yeah, going into Bayley's hometown.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Sasha, and that's going to be her heel turn.
Yep. I think that's going to be her heel turn. I think they've built it up.
I'm seeing something like she wins, heels go away, Bayley comes for a Bayley hug, and then she just, I don't know, maybe she will literally stab her in the back, I don't know. But she will do something.
Yeah. Then you've got every woman in SmackDown except for Nikki Bella and Maurice going for the title.
Every available woman.
Yeah, that's a really weird...
broad definition.
Yeah. Because they're looking at bringing back more females. Kelly might be coming back.
Maybe who knows? Maybe Rebby Star.
But they've got a match that night. I don't think so. Unfortunately.
No, I don't really think so. It was just a joke. Well, here I think it would either be Alexa Bliss winning and retaining, or Naomi coming back and winning.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
Even though I'm pretty sure that is her hometown.
That is her hometown. Orlando is her hometown.
But I think they will. I think they can do it.
Yeah. Then there's the Cruiserweight, Neville versus Austin Aries. This has been a good build-up. A little short, but it's been good. Especially because it's weird that it's been so short, because my understanding is that Austin Aries was cleared for a long time longer than this.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, which sort of doesn't make sense. After that, Luke Gallows...
Who do you have in the cruiserweight match?
I think Neville's going to retain. They need... It's too hot potato if Neville hands it over to Austin Aries at the moment.
I think exactly the same. I think he's retaining, and he's starting a program with... Because we didn't have a program until now. Like, they didn't have a match yet. So I think Aries is going to lose, and then he's going to have a small program with Neville, and at the end he will win.
Yep, I can see that happening. Then there's Club versus Enzo and Cass versus Sheamus and Cesaro. We spoke about it earlier. I don't think there's any way that Enzo and Cass don't leave with the gold after this. As much as I sort of want the Club to retain.
So yeah, as I said before, I'm starting to think that maybe this is the it's obvious pop win for them. Maybe it's just because I really hope that the best team, which is obviously Gallows and Anderson winning, I would like them to retain. But I'm not sure. I've not yet decided on that.
I also do as well, but I think that if Enzo and Cass lose, you need to split them up then. I don't think you can keep having them on like this.
I don't know. How can you split them up? Like,
yeah,
Cass is not good enough on the mic without Enzo, and Enzo is not a good wrestler.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. No, look, they'd have matches against each other. But
forever?
I don't know. With the idea that hopefully one of them will get better. Yeah, we'll see. Then there's the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. 4 entrants at the moment. I'm sure over the next 2 weeks they'll have more.
I'm calling Big Show for that one. I think that because he didn't get the match, I think they will... I don't want to say throw him a bone, but I think they will compensate him in a way and give him the win, and then with enough convincing from the commentary team that, like, being a 2-time giant is a significant feat, he can be pushed for a while and then retire.
Yeah, I guess so. And then the final match to close out the card is Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles.
If Shane McMahon wins this one, I will destroy every single TV in about a 10-kilometer radius.
That's really what I want to hear hosting the WrestleMania review show. I mean, to be fair though, you guys said the same thing about at WrestleMania, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
At Royal Rumble, sorry. All right, that is the both shows for this week, and
you forgot about a few matches actually.
What?
No, one. You forgot about Goldberg versus Lesnar.
No, we did it at the start.
Taker versus...
They were the first matches that I mentioned. Yeah. Yeah, we covered them.
Alright.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it now.
So anyway, I think that Roman is winning. I would like him to turn heel, but he wouldn't. I know he wouldn't, and I should stop hoping for good booking with Roman Reigns. And I think it's pretty obvious that Lesnar is gonna win, even though it was obvious on the first match that he had, and then Goldberg just smashed his face in 10 seconds. But I really think Lesnar's winning the title, and then I hope losing it fast, so we don't have the same situation we had a few years ago.
Yeah. Okay, now it's time for the Where's Wally segment. This is the wrestler that's been missing from TV for a while. We're going since the brand split. This doesn't include wrestlers that were injured. This comes off the back of Jack Swagger recently announcing that he wanted to be released from his contract. Jack Swagger had been with the WWE since the brand split and had not appeared on much TV-wise. This week... This episode is...
By the way, he was released now.
Yeah, no, I did say that.
He's officially released.
He's still got the non-compete clause, though.
He does, yes.
Yeah, so 90 days, I guess, starts from now. But this week's is Sin Cara. Sin Cara was drafted to Raw. His last thing of note was the Christmas episode of Raw, where Braun Strowman essentially used him as a frisbee into the Christmas tree.
Sin Cara. I mean, when you're the least successful one, when you're essentially the Jannetty out of the Lucha Dragons, you know you're in a bad position.
I mean, I want to say something about this, because I recently put on a costume which included a mask. And that was a mask that had eye holes, so I could see. My depth perception was still affected. Now, that mask does not have eye holes. His eyes are covered. I am no longer surprised the amount that he gets injured. That is a mask that is just asking for trouble. I mean, he also has disciplinary issues, sure, but that mask has got to be incredibly difficult to wrestle in.
I mean, then you're saying that all wrestlers with a full mask are automatically bad, because there's a lot of amazing wrestlers with full masks that are not bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a good excuse. I literally think Sin Cara is not a good wrestler.
I'm not saying he's a good wrestler. I just have more appreciation for wrestlers that wear masks. And from that we go on to Michael's rant.
Yes. So originally I had a different topic, but something that happened in Smackdown, made me change the topic in the last second. Now, my topic for getting enraged this week is the topic of too many commentators and announcers in every single WWE event. Now, I'm saying, basically, in Raw, you have, I guess you can say, the better deal with 3 guys. One of them is completely useless and annoying, named Byron Saxton, obviously. The other one is a play-by-play that does not play-by-play anything. He has like 10 moves he actually says, and the rest is oh and ow. And then you have Corey Graves, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, on SmackDown, you have it worse. Because on SmackDown, you have 4 people, and that's way too much. Especially because JBL talks too much. But they talk all the time. You can't have a moment's silence from them. And like sometimes, when the only thing you want to hear is the play-by-play guy literally just saying move, 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 move. That's it, and that's fine. You should have like a moment's respite, but you don't. Now on this week's SmackDown, Otunga and Mauro weren't there. Otunga because he was shooting a movie, and I hope he keeps shooting a movie forever. And Mauro because of the blizzard. Now, I feel for Mauro, and I don't want him not to be on the show because he's a legit great play-by-play guy. By the way, WWE, please switch him with Michael Cole. But suddenly having just 2 people, even though one of them is JBL and he talks a lot, just Tom Phillips and JBL, it was so fun. It was quiet and nice. So I pose a new announcer team. My team would be Mauro and Corey on Raw. Then you have the heel-face dynamic, which I don't even think you must have, but let's say for the flagship show, you'd have it. And on SmackDown, you'll have Tom Phillips, because I think he's great and he's an uprising star in that department, in that play-by-play department. And Tom Phillips can be with JBL, which somehow became better. I don't know how he did that, but he's better now. Or, even better than JBL, Renee Young. And then you don't have, as I said before, you don't have to have a heel-face dynamic. It's actually, I think there's a lot of benefits to having two face commentators, and then when a heel does something very heelish, they can respond accordingly, and it's so much stronger than one guy saying, "Oh, that's fine. I like when he does that." And that's my 2 cents on the subject. You want to say something about that?
Well, I happen to agree with you for the most part, in the sense that it relates back to when I was watching wrestling growing up. You always had the two-man teams. My favourite point of wrestling was the team of JR and King Ross. Not King Ross.
I think you mean Jerry the King Lawler.
I have been watching far too many What Culture videos. But yes, Jerry Lawler and JR, they were a phenomenal team. Before that, when you had McMahon and Ventura, Monsoon was doing it with Heenan for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yes, with the brain.
Was just, they were great commentary teams. Yeah. New Japan has that. WCW had that all the way through. You're right. I agree with you in the sense that it's too busy. I don't mind so much the three-man teams, as long as you have the right dynamics. And Byron Saxton just annoys me, as I think he does most wrestling fans.
I mean, his gimmick right now is to be an annoying child. That's his gimmick. I don't really believe that he's getting excited by inflatable man. That's too good to be true. It's just like an act, and I get it, and it's a gimmick, but it's so annoying, and it doesn't get anywhere.
Yeah. I think the other thing that you touched on but didn't dwell on was I would genuinely like to see Renee Young in the part of the commentary team. I think
I would too, yes.
It is more than time for the WWE to have a female commentator, and I think that she has shown in all of her segments. I wouldn't actually mind, because I think that she could do it. She could become a play-by-play, and she could very well become the best play-by-play since... I mean, Mauro Ranallo is very good, but JR was... maybe that was just because it was when I was growing up. JR... My favourite commentary team is not actually one of the ones that I mentioned before. My favourite commentary team, and I think this was because this was the time that I was most into wrestling, was JR and Heyman. Their dynamic
that's a good one.
Was so incredibly good.
Well, you get the best play-by-play guy and the best talker in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get magic.
Yeah. So I would like to think that Renee Young could be on level with JR and Mauro Ranallo as play-by-play.
Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. I don't think she's stood up to it at the moment. She would need to prove herself in the same way that Mauro Ranallo has. In the sense that she's never done play-by-play before, and it's a very specific talent, I think, that we all want to see. But no, it's a very good topic. I mean, I think that with the ways that I was also thinking about that the commentary team, because obviously with all the controversy that happened with Tom Phillips, for him to be one of two men on I don't know if WWE look, he's not gonna be punished for it. It seems he's obviously gonna keep his. I don't think there was ever a risk of him keeping his job, but there was always going to be some repercussions for it. I think he served that in the sense that he was taken off the social media lounge. But yeah, no, it looks like he's gotten over that. But
yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll end the episode here. It's been a good episode. That's it for this week. We will then not have recordings until after WrestleMania. That's why we did the WrestleMania preview now. We will next come to you with the next 2 weeks of Raw and SmackDown, as well as the WrestleMania results. My name is Idan, and I've been presenting with Michael, and that's it for this episode. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
And bye.